brands that recently released amino acids supplements. Could you give us some more information? I know we touched on it in our podcast about the protein, and that there's 20 amino acids.
Yeah.
9 of them are essential amino acids, which are only derived from our diet. So the body doesn't produce it on its own. Why would you take a amino acid supplement, and what are the different kinds of supplements that we do get?
So I think the most common amino acid supplement would be branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs, as a lot of people know them. So that's mainly 3 of the essential amino acids are called branched chain amino acids. They are valine, leucine, and isoleucine. So those 3 have actually been tested quite a lot in research to show that it is really effective in muscle building, muscle recovery, and so forth, and protein synthesis. So a lot of the brands have branched chain amino acid mixes or powders that you can consume in your training or after training. But then you also do get brands that stick with all 9 of the essential amino acids. So it'll then, of course, include the branched chain amino acids as well, but then 6 others. So I think the main reason for that is it really depends on your goal. What do you want to achieve? Because the question mainly would be, okay, should you rather than just be taking the 9 essential amino acids instead of a whey protein, or because whey would then have between 18 and 20 of all of the amino acids, because it's a complete protein. So why would you just go for the amino acids or just the whey? And it really depends on your goal at the end of the day. So we know that amino acids are really important for protein synthesis, in other words, muscle building, recovery, and so forth. And then also important for hormone production, enzyme production, neurotransmitter production. So we do need amino acids. But yeah, like you said, it poses the question, why are these brands coming out with only essential amino acids and that type of thing? So if we're looking at, for example, whey protein, or even a plant protein like pea protein or rice protein, those protein products often will have calories in them because it's a complete protein, and it's not a lot of calories, but it'll have calories. Whereas if you're looking at an amino acid only supplement, they generally don't have calories in them. So it's just the pure amino acids. So for someone that maybe wants to train fasted for whatever reason being, that is an option, because it's not going to spike any insulin. Let's say you want to do intermittent fasting, or you want to train or adapt your body to using fat while you are training, or whatever the case may be. Just on the side note, please don't train fasted always. Like, I'm not endorsing it necessarily. I'm just saying if you are someone that does that, then taking a branched chain amino acid or an essential amino acid supplement during your training is going to prevent that loss of muscle or lean mass. Also, in that same sense, if you are doing like an ultra distance thing, or stage race, or long distance triathlon, or whatever it might be, and you do want to consume some protein during your race, something like the amino acids would actually be a really good option, because they're very easy to digest. They are very soft on your stomach, so they won't create any digestive issues, and it'll again preserve the lean mass while you are doing that intense long endurance event or stage race and that type of thing. Whereas when you're consuming like a whey protein during your event, it might cause a bit of stomach issues. Also, your amino acids are free from lactose, so if you're very sensitive to dairy or to lactose, then that's also a good option.
Is it something that you can use with your protein powder, with your day-to-day supplementation?
Definitely. So I do see people really enjoy using it while they're training. So you mix it into your water and you drink it during your session. One of the brands that we stock has a nice hydrating amino, so it's like a mixture of electrolytes and amino acids and some other vitamins and so forth, which is quite nice, because then it's like it's ticking quite a few boxes and it's preserving the lean mass and you getting all the benefits from that. So you can drink it while you are exercising, and you can still take your whey protein shake or your recovery drink after your session, definitely, because then you're going to get the other amino acids from that whey. So they can definitely work in synergy with each other.
And is it possible that you can take too many, that you can supplement with too much amino acids in a day? If you're going to take amino acid supplement on its own with a whey protein and a creatine, is it possible to overdo it?
Yes and no. So it's more isn't necessarily always better. So we do see that the body is going to use whatever it needs and the rest it's going to excrete. So amino acids are a little bit different compared to, for example, glycogen or fat. It doesn't get stored as effectively, so the body, uses all the amino acid it needs for the muscle recovery or protein synthesis or the hormone production and enzymes and neurotransmitters and the like, and then whatever is left is then excreted, through your kidneys. So the main concern, like you'd really have to kind of go out of your way to overdose, I think. If you are really eating a lot of protein and you're taking away or a protein shake and you're doing creatine and you're taking aminos, then yes, the chances of you overdoing it is there. But yeah, it won't really necessarily be detrimental to your health, maybe just to your budget, because you might be wasting money.
Yeah.
You're spending quite a lot of money on these products and then you're not really getting the benefits from it because your body can only use what it needs and then the rest it excretes. If you do have any existing kidney issues, then this is definitely not a good idea, because you are going to put a little bit extra strain on the kidneys because it has to get rid of all the excess amino acids, because you're giving the body more than it needs, so then it has to get rid of it. So that's the main thing. We do see that it might actually lead to a bit of dehydration. So it's really important, if you are consuming quite a lot of protein and amino acids and all of those things, to make sure you are drinking enough water, because like just the whole process of the breakdown and so forth of the amino acids might lead to a bit of dehydration, and then just protecting your kidneys. But no, generally, like I say, you kind of have to go out of your way to overdo it, but it's definitely possible to use like creatine and the aminos and a whey protein or plant protein afterwards.
And would it be beneficial for just a normal person that's not necessarily exercising a lot to use it as a supplement?
Maybe. I think so. The nice thing about the aminos or the branched chain amino acid supplements is, like I've mentioned, they don't really have any calories in them. So if you are someone that's focusing on losing weight or specifically losing fat or cutting or shredding or whatever you want to call it, it might actually be beneficial, because these amino acids aren't just good for sport.
Yes.
Like I've mentioned, they're really important for hormonal health, for enzymes and neurotransmitters and those types of things. So yeah, I mean, I know there's some products on the market that call it like protein water. So it's like just amino acids that you mix with your water and you drink it throughout the day. It doesn't have any calories, so it's not going to add to your total calories that you're going to consume in the day, but you're going to get some benefits from those aminos. So yeah, they definitely, I think, aren't just good for sports people, it's for general health. Can also be a benefit, definitely.
Okay, great. And would there be a specific time? I know you said that it's beneficial to use it while or during exercise. But I mean, if you're going to take it maybe in the evenings or early in the morning, is there going to be a different outcome?
There might be. It depends on what you're going to use. So, for example, some of the so some of the supplements contain L-theanine, which is also an amino acid, and that has actually been shown to help with sleep. So that actually might be beneficial to take it at night before you go to bed. So generally, I don't really think timing plays that big of a role. It's again just to do with consistency. So just trying to make sure you are consuming it consistently before you decide whether it works for you or not. Yeah, I think that's the main thing with supplements, is to take it consistently and take it for at least about 3 months to really unless you feel like it's giving you some side effect or whatever, which generally it shouldn't, but generally you need to give it about 3 months for it to properly get in the system, get to the levels that's been shown to be therapeutic, and then make a decision to really, is it worth it or not for me? Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, the other thing is also super important is to not introduce too many new things at once.
Yes.
It's quite like very obvious, but sometimes we get so excited. You're like, I'm on this health journey and let me just add all of these things. And then you can't really pinpoint which one is doing like the best job.
Yes.
And then it's good to maybe just introduce it systematically so that you can see whether or not it's really working for you. And if, let's say, you do get a symptom or side effect, then at least you can pinpoint which one it was. And you know that, okay, maybe I should just try a different brand or a different formulation, or, my body doesn't accommodate with that. So whatever the case may be.
Okay. And if you are not buying it from us, from the website, and you are interested in a product, the best would probably be just to Google the amino acids, check that it's actually on the label, and that what they are advertising. I know with supplements, it's because it's not regulated. We don't. There's no way to know what's actually in them. But if you buy a reputable brand, they'll show you on the back of the label what's on it, and if that matches, then it should be fine. It should be safe.
Definitely. So I think the moral of the story is it really comes down to your preference and your budget.